Okay, today we're going to do a hot water replacement. What happened is my old tank here, it started leaking, and I could tell it was leaking, which there's no repair for that except for replacement. Now, this house was built in 2006, so it's approximately 12 years old, this tank, and that's pretty good to get 12 years out of a hot water tank. Now, it was a A.O. Smith brand. It's 40 gallons, and I already shut off the water, the cold water supply, and I already cut the CPVC pipes, and I cut the pipe for the pressure relief valve. Okay, so that's all done. Now what you do is you hook a hose up to the bottom of the tank, and you turn the valve on to drain the water. Now this takes some time to drain the water. Water is very heavy. It's approximately 7 pounds per gallon. So I think it's almost finished. It stopped draining. I had it draining for about an hour. So I bought a replacement, a ream, okay, 40-gallon tank, their performance model. Now, this comes with a 6-year limited warranty for tank and parts, 1 year full in-home labor warranty. Now, if something goes wrong with it, you return it to where you purchased it. I purchased it in Home Depot, and what I'll do is I have to cut open the box. The other one, like I said, is almost drained, and what I have to do is remove it from the stand, and that will be that. Okay, so I still have water coming down from the system, from the hot water. There's water in the pipes, so that's okay. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to replace. Now, when they when a builder builds a home, they go the cheapest route that they can possibly do. That's why they used all PVC piping throughout the system to make the connections. Now, as a homeowner, you want the ease of future removal. So what I'm going to replace this with is flexible pipe. Now, I have to remove this valve. Now, I can't cut the valve up here because the water will flow. I still have the water run. So I'm going to have to shut the water off. And what I'll probably do is I'll cut up here and over there, and then run the flexible pipe to the tank. So that's it for now, and I'll do some more filming on how to do it. One other thing, very important thing, this is electric, this tank. Now, I already shut off the main breaker for the tank. Now, I don't advise anyone doing this unless they have a little bit of knowledge of how to do things. Now, of course, you turn off the electric because you don't want to be electrocuted. This is, 240 volts. It will give you a shock. So I already disconnected the electrical here. This for the electrical coming in, and I'll have to reconnect that when I put in the new tank. Now, with the box, you stand it upright, the new heater, and along the bottom they have a dotted line. You cut there. I already did it, and that's to pull it up. Okay. Now, hold on. Let me set this up. And what you do is you pull this up. Okay. So there you go. Now you take that off and pull the plastic off, and now they have some protection in here. Okay, take this off. Okay, now I've done a when I lived in New York, I did a gas one. In my opinion, it's easier doing the electric one. Sometimes you had to buy the steel nipples for doing the gas one to connect the gas line, and it could be a little tricky. Plus, you're dealing with gas, and you have to make sure you don't have any leaks. Here, I don't have to worry about leaks. Now, they also have some caps here. Okay, no, this is your connection for your cold and for your hot. All right, so I'm just gonna put it in the same location as where I had the cold and hot running there. Now, it's very simple. Here's for the electrical. All right, do not remove before reading. Okay, you had to. It gives you directions right here. Verify all water lines are connected. Verify cold water supply valve is open. Run hot water faucets in the house to ensure water heater tank is completely full. So that's some of the things, but we'll get into making the electrical connections. It's very simple to do. There's three wires: the hot, the neutral, and the ground. So very simple to do. Okay, for those of you that don't know how to cut PVC, you use a PVC cutter. Okay, this is a very valuable tool to have in your toolbox. So have this ready, and this helps you make these square cuts, and it's easier to cut than using a hacksaw or a pipe cutter. This is definitely worth it. Makes your job faster. Okay, now we're setting up the electrical cover. I took off the old one off of the cable that comes into the house for the electrical supply, and what you do is you put it in. I already took this cover off from the hot water heater, and all you do is you put it in there, and you put on this nut. It's like a nut. It's the retainer, and it doesn't have to be gorilla tight. Okay, this is just tighten it up. Okay, and that's it. Now we pass the wires through here, back underneath, and tighten it up. Okay, so very simple. This is, now to have someone do this type of work, Originally, I'm from New York, like I said. What happens is, the reason why I learned how to do this stuff is because in New York, it's super expensive labor. So I do it myself. And it's not that hard, but people are nervous about doing things the first time. And that's it. So I just have to bring this over. And like I said, the power is off. So the power is off. And this is the cable. I need that end. Okay. So anyway, this piece here goes onto your cable, and what you do is, it's kind of hard doing the filming and this at the same time, but anyway, you pass the wires through the hole, and it goes in. And you push it in, and then you just bring that down, and it just has to be hand tight. So that takes care of the plate that will go into the new hot water heater. Okay, now we're ready to put the valve in. I already cut the connection, and what you do is I wiped it off with a rag to clean it up. Okay, and you take it. Well, hold on. Let me just make sure that this is the right. I could probably cut it some more. Let me cut it some more. I'm going to show you how to cut it. And so, and give it a little wipe, and you can then and we gotta push it on. You have to release a little force. Now they also include a tool with this for disconnecting it. You have to use a specialized tool for disconnecting the there we go. Okay, there it is. Okay, now and I think it has to come forward just a little bit. I have to adjust it just a little bit. Okay, so let me do an adjustment, and I'll show you the connection. Okay, now I got them cut. Got the cold water in the off position because we don't want to fill the tank yet until we have all the connections thoroughly tightened and I have to do the electrical. Now, for the electrical, the white goes to red, black to black, and the bare copper goes to the ground. Okay, so very simple. I'll do that. I got wire nuts here, so you use wire nuts to make the attachment, and that's it. Okay, now I put the cover on. It comes in halves, the cover for the electrical. Now you have to use a little force because it's the wiring is solid copper wire and it's very stiff, so you have to give it a little force. Now on this side, this is where your ground wire will come through, your solid copper ground wire. And what we do is it will bend over and come through that opening and around the green ground. So let me get that. I can't do it holding the camera, so I have to pause. Okay, now I have the bare copper wire underneath the ground screw, and all you have to do, there's like a little lip there. You slip it underneath the other plate and push down, and we put this screw right here for the cover, and that will it's a little hard to do with one hand. Let's see if we can get that. Sometimes you have to give it a little force, and okay, and that's it. So it's all together. Now what I have to do is make sure that this is tight. I'll get some adjustable pliers. Let me get, adjustable wrench. Let me get that. Alright, now I have my camera woman here. Alright, come a little closer, you probably can. Now, what I'm going to do is tighten this down. There's some rubber washers inside of here. So, we tighten this down. Now I'm using a big adjustable wrench. Don't put too much pressure on. And same for thing, there's the hot water. And that's that. Now, the next thing I have to do is I'm going to do PVC connections for the pressure relief valve. Now, I have this tank a little bit offset because I want to be able to access the panel for the thermostat if I need to make any adjustments. Now we have that all done. Now we have to test for leaks over here where we made the connection. So what we got to do is turn on the cold water. Okay, now I turned the water on for the main house. Okay, now we have to, I left the sink on, so inside the kitchen, okay, I put a 3/4 male connection here with some Teflon tape, tightened it down. I'm going to connect the pressure relief valve to the drain, and I use a little primer, purple primer, You put it on all the parts. It cleans it up. I already did an elbow because I have to do an elbow. So the pipe comes here and down. So let's see. I don't want excess primer in there. Alright, now you don't use too much of the cement, the PVC cement. Just rub it around. Now, don't use too much because it won't. It actually works against it. Now you do a half a turn, and I want it to come out straight. So half a turn, it's in. Okay. Now I have to grab some more PVC. I'm going to run it and eyeball it down to this pipe right here. Okay, so let me wipe that off. Give it a little wipe. And what I do is I cut the pipe longer than what I need because I can always shorten it, but you can't make it longer. So that's what I do. Where's my cutter? Okay. Wow. Now here it is. So anyway, I eyeball it. This pipe is too long. Right about there. That's probably more than what I need. That's fine. And that's it. Yep, it's more than what I need. So what I'll do is put some purple primer on this side. Have a rag ready because this does stain, okay? And if you don't want it on your work, just have it ready, a rag, so you can, okay? Purple primer. Okay. A little PVC cement. Okay, put it in and give it a twist in, and that's it. Okay, now I have to eyeball this to come down here, and I have to use two elbows, one elbow coming down and one elbow coming up. So let me get more elbows.
Hold on. Ready?
Okay. I got the elbows, and what I'll do is I'll prime them while they're off the pipe, because I already know I'm going to use two. So 1, 2, 1, 2. It's already done. Now comes the fun part of eyeing this so it fits. Okay. Now you do have a little bit of flex in the pipe to go this way and to go up and down. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use the pipe to line it up a little. Okay? And what I'm going to do is you know what, I'm going to do it on the other side because there, and I got to line it up, and I got to cut right about there. Okay. Now, what I'll do is I'm going to put some primer on there. Okay. And what I have to do is I have to cut another pipe, okay, for going here. So I have to estimate how much I need. Like I said, make it longer than what you need, and then you can cut back. Okay, so, and okay, so we have this and we have this. Now we have to have another elbow coming off of here, so I have to cut. So let me here. Let me just hold on. There we go. Now, I'll just take a look. This one pipe is going to go here. I may have to cut one a little bit more. Okay. Now. Let me cut off just a little bit more. Now, we'll use a little primer. You know what? That's crooked. Like I said before, you need to have these square. That's better. There we go. And put a little cement in there. And push it in and give it a turn down. That's it. Now, what I'll do is I'll do one end here. This is not square, I can tell. Okay. And what I'll do is cement this one in. Okay. Now, when you cut this, you have to cut a little higher than this pipe because of the elbow that will go in. So it'll be like this, and so pretty much at where the top of this one is where you want it. Now you still have a little bit of flexibility in movement, so you'll be able to move it up and down a little. Okay. A little cement. Alright. A little cement.
John, close it, John.
Yeah.
Daddy, the camera's not working.
Oh. Okay. Now that's that. Now I'm going to turn this on, check for leaks of where we made our connection. And it's leaking. Okay.
It works. It works. Oh, it works. It works, Daddy. It works.
There's a slight leak.
John, can you close the door, John? And now close the door, please. The mosquito.
Hey,
You should go inside. The mosquito is going to bite you.
Dex is free magic.
Okay.
Well, bear, bear, bear. Mommy, is this for?
No, can you put that down? That's not a toy. Can you go back inside?
Is
There's a lot
this
of...
for swimming?
No, that's not for swimming.
I said to tighten this up a little bit more. I didn't want to over tighten it.
My, baby kitty.
Okay, that's good. No more leaks there. Now we won't know if this one leaks until, what was this one?
Close the door.
Okay. That's it. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn on the hot water in the kitchen sink to see if there's any air in the system. All right, so that's it. Now, you don't turn on the electric until you make sure all your connections are right, that the air is out of your system. All right. Okay. I just thought I would show you what the air coming out of the system looks like. That's the air coming out. So we have to Get the air out so the tank can fill up completely. Once the air is out, the water will flow freely. Ah, here it comes. It's coming out. It's coming out in a steady stream. Now, you should go around to all your sinks, your bathroom sinks and everything. Make sure that the air is out of the system. So, that's that. That's that one. I'll go check the other ones.